Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to share with you my canelé recipe, which is a French dessert. You can think of it as a very crispy custard. So the exterior of this is super crispy, super crunchy, and the interior is a baked custard. And it's actually really simple to make. The hardest part really is waiting for the batter to rest in the fridge, which is kind of very important for this dessert. So as usual, you will find a list of all of the ingredients that I'm using for this dessert in the description box below. These are all of the ingredients I'm using. So I'm going to start with some butter going straight into the pot with whole milk. It's important to use whole milk here because we want the fat content, the protein content in whole milk. And the main ingredient, or one of the main ingredients I would say, is the vanilla flavor here. So you want to use the best vanilla beans you can find. So whenever you buy vanilla beans, you want to make sure that they're fresh. You want to make sure that they're pliable, they're plump and shiny like the one I'm showing here. And I just take my knife and just cut lengthwise, and then with the back of a knife, as you see here, we scrape off the seeds from the interior of the vanilla bean, and we use also the bean itself, and all of that goes into the pot. I'm gonna cook this on low to medium heat. The butter should be melted and it should look something like this. I'll remove the vanilla bean for a second because I need to incorporate that to the next mixture. So in a bowl I have the sugar and the eggs with the egg yolks that I have reserved. And I'm just whisking this just so that it's roughly combined. You don't have to make it super fluffy here. Then I incorporate my flour. You can sift this if you like. If it's fresh flour, then it's okay not to sift. So I'm just incorporating everything. I'm not really building a lot of air here. That's kind of the opposite of what you want for this dessert. And as usual, for custards, you want to add your liquids to your egg mixture. So I'm doing that very slowly because the milk is pretty hot. And I just whisk it in. Very slowly at first, and at some point you can go ahead and pour over all of the milk. And that's pretty much it. We don't need to thicken this up. So it's basically a partially cooked custard. And this is ready. That was really all the preparation here. I'm passing this through a sieve because I do have maybe some egg bits in there, some vanilla bits in there. Now the second ingredient that is most prominent for this dessert is rum. I'm using a nice quality rum here, just a little bit, and I put back the vanilla bean in there because I'm gonna rest this in my fridge for at least one whole day. The flavors are gonna enhance and the flour is gonna relax and incorporate better into the rest of the ingredients. So this is my mixture after one day in the fridge. You can see some separation. So I just take a whisk or a spatula and just very gently mix it together so that it's back to fully incorporated before baking. Now the next thing that is quite special for the canelés is its shape. It has a very particular shape. You might have seen the copper molds, which are the ones that I'm showing you here, and you might have seen also their silicone versions. I'm of course splurging in all my baking endeavors, so I went ahead and bought the copper ones. They're quite pricey, but they should conduct heat much better than the silicone ones and therefore create a much crispier crust. So traditionally, beeswax is used to coat the interior of the copper molds. However, I decided to try just using some cool melted butter and with a pastry brush cover the interior very generously. I am then filling the molds, leaving about half a centimeter from the top so that they have some room to rise a little bit. So in the oven they go. I start with a very high oven and then reduce the temperature to finish the baking process. So these have come out of the oven and I immediately take them off this tray. You can see there was some butter leakage there. So I do suggest baking with a tray just to catch all of that leakage. Then after a few minutes I like to flip them over so that gravity can do its thing. And with a couple of taps they should be able to come out and you should be able to release them from the molds. Now that is the sound you want to hear. This is a beautiful golden crust, a beautiful custard on the inside, and ideally you do want to eat these on the same day just so that you get the full experience of the canelé crust. And to be honest, you don't make a huge batch of these because you're limited by the molds. So it's not that difficult to eat them all in one day. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe and that you liked the video. And please leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more. I'll see you next time with a new recipe. And as always, thanks for watching.